What up, boys and girls? We back at it. We got some stuff in the mail today, and this is just the first part of some parts we're getting today for Project Krack Hawk. Ooh, I got my new Cletus shirt on. Yep, ordered this, tried to win a turbo, didn't work. But let me show you what you got. Well, let me show you what we got in the mail for Project Krack Hawk today. All right, so got a couple of packages here from Holly, MSD, etc. The first one we're going to show you here, this little cap. I already opened these. Yeah, I already opened these just to verify what I had gotten. And got a little black MSD cap. And you might think, man, that's weird. What's that for? That belongs to this. We ordered a distributor for Project Krack Hawk. Let me open this up real quick. So we ordered this distributor. This thing was fancy and expensive. But as you can tell, there you can see the two little bolts. This little cap, well, I was going to open it up, but this little cap takes the place of the distributor cap. And how is that going to work? Well, we're going to a coil-on plug setup. And we can go coil-on plug setup on Project Krack Hawk because we ordered, which this isn't all of it, but this is some of it. We ordered a Terminator X system, one of their universal ones, for electronic transmission. I don't know how this is going to work. I've not seen anybody do this or use these products. Maybe by the time this video drops, somebody else has done it. But obviously, there's a demand for it because they offer the transmission harness for the Terminator or just the Holley EFI in general to operate a 46RE Mopar transmission. The Terminator X is on back order for a long time, but I went ahead and ordered all this stuff. That way I had it when the time came and the Terminator drops. The cool thing about this is by using this dual sync distributor, it basically acts as your cam and crank sensor, and this will plug directly into the universal Holley harness. And we're going to put that plug on the top of this, or that cap on the top of this, and we're actually going to drive individual coils instead of just one coil from the center of this. And then that way we'll have individual cylinder control of the timing. That way we can get optimal fuel burn, optimal timing. If one cylinder's a little hotter than the other, you can pull timing out of that one cylinder, so on and so forth. So that'll definitely make this a way better situation. There's not a lot of aftermarket support for tuning for the old 90s Mopar stuff. So we're going to give this a shot. Hopefully this will do what we want it to do and get us where we want to be. I, at this point, still don't know what to expect of the Krack Hawk. I don't know what kind of power this thing's going to make. I still don't know what's inside the motor, actually. Like, I was told it was a 408 stroker. I assume it is, but I could be wrong. It could just be a stock 360. I have no idea. But, yes, this is the start of acquiring parts for Project Krack Hawk. This thing I am super pumped about. It's going to be pretty rad. This is probably one of my favorite projects, mainly because I'm a Mopar guy at heart. And then to be able to do something with Mopar power, but do it more, use more technology, better technology that we have now with the old platform, I think it's going to be really cool. Like I said, I don't know many people. I think there's only a couple guys I know on YouTube that I've seen that use Holley stuff for the old Magnum setups. One guy I think's got a Turbo Dakota, but he runs like a Dominator system on it, and he's got all kinds of fancy stuff on it. This isn't going to be nearly that fancy, but this is going to do exactly what we want it to do. Fingers crossed. And then I've seen somebody from like UK or something that has like a turbo. I don't know if it's a like Dodge pickup. I think it's a full-size Dodge pickup truck, but I've only seen, I think, videos of the like gauge cluster and stuff, and I'm pretty sure it's a full-size Dodge truck. But it's got a Terminator on it because you can see the little handheld on the dash. But there's no talking. There's nothing about the setup or none of that. So I don't know anything about it. We're gonna give it a shot. This thing, assuming it has what it's supposed to in it, this thing should make power. My buddy at Procharged said this P1SC is good for like 700 or 800 wheel. I don't think this thing's gonna make it. Mainly, I don't care to make that much with this. My goal is to make like 5 to 600. And obviously there's gonna be a limitation with the transmission. I don't know much about the 46RE. What I do know about them is they don't take power very well. The Krack Hawk supposedly has a new transmission and a new transfer case in it, but I know nothing about it, so who knows. We may end up having to hit up our buddy Dan at Circle D and see if we can get a converter made for this thing, because there's a good chance it's going to need a converter. But we won't know until we start messing with it. So anyways, like I said, this is the start of getting some new parts for this project. The Terminator's, like I said, 7 to 10 months out. So I don't know. By the time we get it, this is going to be a very old clip that I'm going to be adding to the video. Well, I was going to do something really cool today, but then that failed miserably, and it's too hot to give a shit. So we were going to get the Krack Hawk out and go take it for a test drive, because it's not drove down the road in like 13 years. And I had it up in the air, fixed a little brake line leak that it had, and I tried to bleed the brakes. Didn't work. Couldn't get any fluid. So I knew one of the rubber hoses had internally collapsed and wouldn't let fluid pass through it. Well, I pulled it out of the driveway. I was like, oh, hell with it. Didn't have any pedal. I couldn't get the bleed. I broke one of the bleeders off the rear brakes. I pissed on it. It'll be fine. Yep. Brake fluid. Brake fluid. It appears that the rear axle hose that goes from the frame rail, the rubber one, down to the metering block has exploded. In turn means it's making a mess all over my driveway. So guess we're not driving. So yeah, so our other option would be to put a vice grips on it, clamp it shut so it doesn't leak all the fluid out of it, and then we could drive it. It doesn't have pedal. This is me showing number one. It doesn't have pedal, no rear brakes. One of the front brakes was froze up, and I did notice that the rotor is cracked almost in half. Sounds like a good thing to do. Throw a plate on it, let's drive down the street. I wonder if this thing will do a burnout. Let's see. Let's get the seat up here so I can double foot this. Oh, we gotta find the keys. I probably won't. He said he never did a burnout in it because it never ran that long. I wonder if this thing will do a burnout. Doesn't have brakes. And it's not tuned current, like, so to speak. I don't know. Let's see. It's holding itself still enough. Oh. Okay. Oh, these things will smoke like hell. They're old as all get out. Oh God, I smell bad. That smells awful. Ugh. Here, let's pull forward and see if it spun both tires. I think it did. Felt like it. Oh God, this thing stinks. Shit's weak. It's just a one tire fire. That ain't gonna cut it. We're gonna have to find a differential or something for this thing. Yeah, look at all the damn brake fluid. Probably need to get something to clean that up with. And I'll make a third puddle. Dang it, it doesn't have a posi track? That's terrible.